Yo, people, what's going on? What's that noise? I have no idea what's going on. Anyways, everything's good now. Yo, people, what's going on? This is Kitty G on EGTV. We're back again with another video. Today's one of those North London Derby type specials. We got J4 in the house representing Tottenham, as you guys already know. What are you saying, Jay?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm happy to be back on EGTV, man. We know we have some fun wars over here, man.
There you go. There you go. We got Gunner King in the house. Gunner King, how you doing?
Yeah, man. All good. All good. Happy to be on the show, man. It's going to be an exciting one, man. No doubt.
Enough said. Enough said. As you guys know, Tottenham have made a signing in Richarlison, and Arsenal have made a signing in another Brazilian in Gabriel Jesus. And immediately after those two signings have been completed, what happened on the social media net? What happened on social media, guys? They started comparing the two Brazilians, like they always do. They have to find a way to draw comparison to two players that are signing to two rivals and play in I wouldn't say similar position, but in and amongst the front three, the two of them. And the first place I seen this comparison done was, of course, on Twitter, and Football Daily did this nice graphic. If I want to show you guys, they did this graphic here where they're just comparing the two players and they're saying games played, goals, assists, and then goals per game, and then shot accuracy. And in almost every category, you could see Jesus is better. But you don't factor in the degree of difficulty, where Richarlison is playing in Everton and Watford at the time, where Gabriel Jesus played his whole career at Man City. So now this caused a whole uproar where people are saying Richarlison's better, Jesus is better. Stop comparing the two. But yeah, I want to know where you guys lie. So that's where the poll in today's question is. Who's the better signing? Gabriel Jesus for Arsenal or Richarlison for Tottenham? And remember, I'm not phrasing who's the better player, because that is a subjective thing that you could argue that if you want, but it's more or less who's the better signing and for the team. So let's get into it. What are you saying, Gunner King?
Yeah, man. Listen, I mean, like, at the end of the day, you've got to look at what the two have achieved. Obviously Richarlison being at Everton and Watford, look, I'm going to take that into consideration. But sometimes you got to consider why that is. They're both the same age. They both came up at the same time. So, if you're scouting Brazilian youngsters, then you would have been scouting both. Now, at the end of the day, one ended up at the top of the English game and one didn't. I would say that could be indicative of the quality of the two players. Now, listen, disclaimer: I don't think Richarlison's a bad player. I'm not going to stand here and say that he's a poor player or that I wouldn't have him at Arsenal. But I just think there's a clear difference in quality between the two. At the end of the day, I think he's a bigger signing for us because, look, he's come from the champions of England. He's helped Brazil to win Copa America, the Olympics, and for me, I just think he's the bigger draw in football. As a result.
We got a comment here, Jay.
Love this.
My guy's saying it's mad. It's mad because Richarlison and Jesus are comparable, but none of them start for Spurs. Jesus starts 38 games for Arsenal.
I mean, yes, it's due to Arsenal not having a striker. We could say that, but it's also due to Jesus just not being good enough to make it into Tottenham's starting 11, as well as Richarlison. With regards to who's the better signing, yes, very subjective. We're signing a player to improve our squad, a player that's going to come in, and if we ever have any injuries, any problems, or if we just need to freshen the lineup, he's going to come in and slot in, and there's not going to be the level of our team is not going to drop at all. We're going to stay at the same level, if not be a better team. Jesus, on the other hand, he's come in to fill the striker gap for Arsenal that has been there for, you could say, 2 seasons, because Aubameyang was like a winger / striker towards the end of his time at Arsenal. So I'd say who's the better signing? I mean, Jesus is more needed for Arsenal. He's the more required signing for you guys. So you could say he's the better signing if you want to take that. But with regards to being a better player or adding more to the team, what we're looking to do with Richarlison, I would say, is better, and it's he is more he's going to improve our team and make our team more better than Jesus would, for example, because of his qualities. And coming off the bench, he's going to be perfect player for us, especially in those Champions League games. And we've got 5 subs now in the Premier League, so I expect him to see a lot of game time and score quite a lot of goals.
Okay. Can we acknowledge one thing? The 2 players. If you look at the 2 players and you say to yourself, who would you rather have? Do you say to yourself you'd rather have Richarlison at Tottenham?
I'd say I'd rather have Richarlison regardless. In any team, when you look at Jesus and Richarlison, they're pretty much very same players. Like Gunnar King said, they both play on the wing as well as they can operate through the middle. So they're very similar players. Richarlison just operates off the left, Jesus off the right, if in his second position. But when you look at their qualities, Richarlison, you might say he's the for me he's a better finisher. He's got a better variety of goals, so he can score from the edge of the box. He can score with a header. Great movement. I think the only thing that Jesus has better than him, he's more of a natural striker in his positioning and the way that he presses defenders and so on. But Richarlison, definitely the better overall player. And from the wing, he is a dangerous man to have running at your defense.
Can I just say one thing? I saw a comment and I've been waiting for it. If Jesus was any good, he wouldn't be on the bench for City. Remind me where Kulusevski was when he came from Juventus. Was he playing regular football?
He's a 21-year-old.
Was he playing regular? No. But listen, first of all, Jesus was 21 when he went to City. So your argument.
That's 5-6 years ago. He joined them in 2016.
What you're saying is Kulusevski was 21 when he left Juventus. Yeah, so we should factor in the age he was when he left Juventus. Now at 21, when you're coming into City, when Aguero is still there, you're not going to play minutes. But the point that I'm making is this: if the benchmark of a good player is whether or not they're playing for their current team, I'm going to give you 2 players. Kulusevski, 95 appearances, 15 goals, 15 assists for Juventus. 20 appearances before he left Juventus, 1 goal, 3 assists. So every Spurs fan using this benchmark of he wasn't playing very much here at his previous club, imagine you would use the same benchmark before you signed. Sorry, let me just finish this sentence. Imagine you would use the same benchmark when you were weighing up Kulusevski. You literally wouldn't have bought him to your club, and he literally wouldn't have dragged you to win a top 4 race. I'm asking for a bit of consistency. And what I would also say,
because that's not equal. You're doing a false comparison here that just doesn't add up.
Not really.
Jesus is
essentially what you're saying is he was a squad player at his old club, so he can't be very good. But that's exactly what Kulusevski was before he came to your club. And Kulusevski was very good. And likewise, can I just say one more thing? Yeah. Lukaku played 30 odd games for Inter before he went to Chelsea. So he was a first team player. People were talking about him being world class. What did he turn out to be? A fraud. Yeah. So sometimes you can buy a player in great form. You can buy a player that's been playing all the first team minutes in the world, and they go to the next club. And what happens? How many games was Werner playing in Germany before he went to Chelsea? Turned out to be a fraud as well. So all of you Spurs fans using this comparative measure by saying he didn't play that much at City, he can't be very good. Well, Kulu couldn't have been very good before you bought him, and he was very good. And likewise, Lukaku and Werner should have been excellent before they came to Chelsea, and they were frauds. Shush.
Okay, so no, wait, Egal, I just have to go here because
I was gonna let you reply.
I'm sorry for everyone listening here, where Gunnar King just went on a random rant that didn't mean anything. So I have to apologize for him. But so let's add it. Let me make sure why it doesn't add up here. Kulusevski, a 21-year-old, yes, it didn't work out too much from Juventus, but you can say he's too young. He's too young, and the big move didn't work. That's fine. If you want to say that, it's fine. He's come to Tottenham and he's found his new place. He's settled there. Jesus has been in the Premier League for 6 seasons. 6 seasons, not 1, not 2, 6 seasons. So Aguero's not been their starting striker for about 2 of those, and the seasons after prior to that, many injury problems. So he saw a lot of game time, 25 games plus pretty much every season. So let's get something straight. He's played a lot of games. He's just not starting or being chose to be a starter because he wasn't good enough to take over Aguero. We can all acknowledge that. We all know that's why he's not been Man City striker and why he never took over Aguero. Because when he was signed, yes, he was that big, promising player. We all saw and heard what he done at the Olympics. He took Brazil to the Olympics. Richarlison wasn't even thought of by them. It was all Jesus, but he never lived up to his hype. And right now, he has been Man City's backup striker, backup player. He's been coming off the bench quite a lot of times and makes about 20 starts a season, maybe just a bit under that. So it's very clear.
I tell you who else didn't make very starts?
Wait. Just give me a second, Gunner King. It's very clear that he's a secondary player, and you need to let go of the fact that Tottenham fans are calling him a backup player when it's very clear by looking at the numbers he's a secondary player.
Well, by that standard, you signed a backup player and he turned out to be very good, which is my point.
Okay, wait.
Someone can be a backup player at their previous club, come to their new club and be very good. That's the point. You lot are running the gauntlet on the guy before he's even kicked the ball for us,
you've done your
which is the point I'm making. Because if we did the same with Kulusevski, we would have said he wasn't very good. But he proved himself to be very good.
We don't want to hear it.
Another man's treasure.
Okay, that's fine. That is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If you think he's going to be a good player, you can predict that all you want.
I'm not listening. I'm not saying he's going to be good or bad. What I'm saying is the logic you're using to underpin the notion that he's going to be bad before he kicked the ball is very flawed. Very flawed.
Right now, do you guys really want to do the signing or the player? Because we keep getting on this thing.
This is why I'm getting annoyed. Agal, I have not called. Have you heard me call Jesus a bad player? I didn't say nothing. When we're comparing, I'm doing actual comparisons about those two players and how they play and the way that they match up against each other. I'm not talking about Werner, Lukaku, and all these other things because that's all irrelevant. Let's stick to Jesus and Richarlison. Let's stick to Jesus and Richarlison.
No, but Jordan, look, let me pinpoint the relevance. Yeah, let me pinpoint the relevance. No, wait, Ego, let me just say this then. Let me pinpoint the relevance, yeah? I use Werner and Lukaku as examples of players that came from clubs that were playing all the time, that were in the first team, that then went to an English Premier League club and weren't very good. And likewise, players like Kulusevski and players like Salah and players like KDB, when KDB and Salah were at Chelsea, they didn't have that much of an impact. But now they're literally two of the best players in the Premier League. So I have to measure.
I'm gonna have to stop you guys. Understand? I get his point. He was just debating the point where he's not a starter that someone said in the comments. You didn't even say that specifically. So number two, let's get back to this. Are we gonna argue who's a better player? Because I'm thinking that we've established that who's a better player. In my opinion, I think it's Gabriel Jesus the better player, but you can argue the fit.
What makes it so clear that Jesus is a better player? That's what I want to make. That's what I hear from you, Agal. Because you said
when it comes to footballers. Okay, so now you want to debate me. It's fine. When it comes to footballers, if you want to argue better fit, you can argue better fit. But when it comes to a better player overall, I think Gabriel Jesus has more overall when it comes to his passing ability, when it comes to his link-up play, when it comes to his overall ability to play in the front three in all positions, similar to Richarlison. They both can do that, right? So that is a strength that they both have. Their versatility, they both have the versatility. But the fact that Richarlison he might be a better finisher. He might be more of a better finisher in chances. But overall, I would say that's the one thing that they would say Richarlison is good at, where he's more direct and he's more of a finisher. I would say Gabriel Jesus is more well-rounded and more of an overall player.
Wait, that's fine. I would more than happy accept that. I know Jesus, like you said, passing and so on. Some of the other things about his game, Richarlison's raw. He's a very raw player. He's sort of your old school winger that they're only good when they get on the ball and they're running at players, they're perfect. When they're off the ball, his tenacity is amazing. He can press. His pressing is definitely better than Jesus as well, which Jesus does very well too.
No, wait. You said Richarlison's pressing is better than Gabriel Jesus.
I don't know if you've actually checked your stats and your numbers, but Richarlison last season was top 10 in the Premier League for Jules 1 in the Premier League. This guy is a pressing machine. That's all he does. I don't know if you watched the game against Arsenal when he was taking out half of your players at the halfway line. It might not be the City press that you're talking about, where it's just front three pressing the back players, but when we're talking about pressing all around the pitch, Jesus just doesn't do it like Richarlison. His tenacity and aggressiveness is just untouched, and that's why he's coming to the lane, because he has that part of his game to him, similar to Romero.
Okay,
I'll leave this one to you, Gal.
From one thing we have to establish is all South American players have that work rate and tenacity off the ball, and especially Brazilians. And we know with Alexis Sanchez, and you know with your former Brazilians within the Premier League in history. But Gabriel Jesus, one of his biggest strengths is his pressing ability, to the point where
I know.
To the point where he has even been Pep Guardiola and the Brazil manager have been even quoted in calling him, Gabriel Jesus, as one of the best pressing forwards in world football. Now, let me bring you, I'm not going to just bring you a quote without the actual backup. Bro, they're saying Pep Guardiola and the Brazilian manager have both titled
Forget the quotes, show me some stats.
Best pressing footballer in
Forget
world.
the quotes, show me some stats, Gal. Come on. We all watch football. We all watch it with our eyes, just like Pep does. He don't have no special eyes compared to me. We all have the same eyes.
All right. So let me run you some context. Yeah. If you say that Jesus is in a more possession-based team that is better on the ball, then what are they going to be doing less? Trying to win the ball back because they're retaining possession more. So if you look at pressing numbers merely by stats, yeah, of a more possession-based team relative to a team that has less possession, then of course, numbers-wise, your guy's going to be pressing more. But I'd be interested to know which one is more effective in the press, because I don't think.
Show me some stats. I can show you some stats to show how effective Richarlison is.
Okay, do you want to look at him as a forward or as an attacking winger?
They're both forwards. They're literally both. They both operate off the wing and as a striker. As Jesus said, apparently when they were playing at Copa America, Richarlison was playing in the middle because Jesus wanted to play out wide. So he clearly thinks of himself as a wide player as well as a striker, same as Richarlison.
I'll tell you this right now. If I look up the numbers, I guarantee you Richarlison will probably have way more defensive work rate because of the fact that he does track back. And he plays more on the wing, where Jesus, even though he might be playing on the wing at Man City, he will more or less be higher up the pressing the attack and not going back as much. Let's be honest, who's going to have more tackles, more interceptions, more blocks, more of those things? It's definitely going to be Richarlison, because he's been in a team where he's been tracking back more often in the Everton side. Gabriel Jesus, he doesn't have to do that as much because of how good his team is. So realistically, if you look at the numbers, they will be skewed, but I won't debate you because it will most likely show that.
Again, I've watched it with my eyes, and we'll see next season. You'll see how Richarlison, when he comes off, especially when he comes off the bench, that's when you're going to see it both ways.
Yeah, the arguments you use work both ways. If you say that Jesus, we should take into consideration the numbers of goals based on him being in a more attacking team that is able to maintain possession more, then it works the other way with defensive actions.
I understand what you're saying with regards to defensive actions, but Jesus, he's still the guy that leads the press on the front line. They may have the ball more of the game, but he's the person that wins it back for them to ensure that they have the ball the majority of the game. And I understand that. I think that one of the best parts about Jesus' game is his pressing. I just think that Richarlison does it better all around the pitch and not just on the front line. But I get what you're saying. You do have a point.
Let me ask you this. The per 90 stats, when we look at them, when he comes to Tottenham and Gabriel Jesus at Arsenal, they will be more skewed because Jesus will be a starter and Richarlison will be more of a bench player. Don't you agree?
And that's why you have to see with your eyes. With Richarlison, and what people are actually...
Richarlison's going to start.
Yeah, I was going to say, so he's not going to be an outright bench player. I think what's going to happen is he's going to interchange most games with Kulusevski, with Son. He's going to be changing. He wants these players to be able to just swap in and swap out. He doesn't want just a set 11 and keep those players playing week in, week out.
Listen, I was right about Ramsdale last season. When we spent 30 million on him, I said, who spends 30 million on a backup goalkeeper? He played, right? Tottenham are historically a club that doesn't spend money, and you expect me to believe that all of a sudden they spent 60 million on a guy to sit on their bench. Now I'm going to ask you this: what system did Conte use at Chelsea, at Juve, and at Inter most predominantly?
The 3-5-2.
Two, yeah.
Listen to this
He's
comment,
going to
bro.
play. He's going to play him as a second striker. But
Okay.
what he's going to do is he's going to push Kane higher up the pitch.
You're
Because
forgetting about
he
Son.
doesn't want Kane dropping so deep. He wants Kane high up the pitch and being involved in creativity and goal output inside the box. Mark my words. You heard it here first. Richarlison is going to play a lot of
If
games
that
next season.
happens, it will be Son, Richarlison, and Kane behind them in cam. That's how
Yo,
it works.
guys, I'm gonna go back to being impartial for a second, and just I'm gonna ask a genuine question. But before we do that, everybody in the comments can hit that like button. Richarlison is gonna be better. Richarlison is going to do better, and Spurs will finish above Arsenal. Tottenham will be in top 4. Arsenal will finish 5th. Does league position affect how effective that signing is for you guys?
Yes, because Jesus is effectively being signed to be Arsenal's striker. That was the main thing missing that made you miss out on top 4. And Agal, we've been on many podcasts. You said a striker. If we had a striker last season, we would have got top 4. No doubt in your mind, a better striker. Jesus is a better striker. And now that you've signed him, even without the depth, your starting 11, as you guys have said, should finish in the top 4. So there's no excuse. If you don't
Jordan,
get top 4,
can I ask you a question?
It will affect your thoughts on that. My thoughts on that signing.
Can I ask you a question, Jordan? Should Son have been in the team of the season last season?
Of course.
Yeah, I believe so as well. I agree. I respect Son. I've got the highest respect for him. Who was in there instead? Ronaldo. I argue that he was better than Ronaldo, who got the number 9 spot. I argue he was better than Mane, who got the left spot. He should have taken one of their places. Yeah, but he didn't. Why? Because of league position. Yeah, there was elitism that was involved in the fact that Mane helped them challenge for a title, and Ronaldo, I just think there was favoritism based on his stature in the game. Yeah, so to bring that back to the point we're making, why should it dictate the individual impact or ability of the player? Just because Son finished below, Mane, he was better than Mane last season. Do you think I want to say this? I don't. It pains me to say this, but it's the truth. I'd be lying. Yeah.
What kind of thing? The difference is, do you think that Tottenham's a better team than Arsenal right now? You don't think Tottenham has a better team than Arsenal? So if we have similar teams, then you can judge it, because you don't think that we have a better squad than you, do you?
I feel like you've got more quality in certain areas, but I think it's very close between squads.
So then that means it's fair to judge. That means it's fair to judge them by league.
How about this? How much is Tottenham have a better attack than Arsenal currently?
Absolutely.
Okay. So if they then are signing another attacking player, won't it be easier for him to adjust or get involved in that team?
I
don't. Or do you think it will be harder for Gabriel? Will it be easier for Gabriel Jesus to adjust?
It'll be easier for Gabriel Jesus to adjust. Because Arteta has coached him before. We know that you have to take that into consideration. He will know how to use Jesus, and he will know his strengths and his weaknesses, as well as Jesus is familiar with the likes of Martinelli and Gabriel Magalhaes. And so he's going to have a few players in around him. It's not going to be too hard for him to adapt to that front line. It's just Saka and Odegaard and getting to know their patterns and how they move. Jesus is going to be way easier to fit into Arsenal than Richarlison would be.
I just counter that point.
I'm going to go to you right now, Gunnar King. I just want to say this. Big up to everyone in the comment section. We got my guy here saying, I am an Arsenal fan. What if City sold us a hyped up winger? Bro, don't say that about Gabriel Jesus, man. You're dissing. What is going to be a good...
What's going to be the goal difference?
Okay, goal difference between Richarlison and Jesus. I think once again that comes down to who's starting. But yeah, go ahead, Gunnar King. What were we gonna say?
So if you're gonna settle as a player, right? You look at the experience of Tottenham's front line.
Yeah.
You've got Kane, who's 29, who's been arguably one of the best number 9s in the league for a long time now. You've got Son, who's been one of the best, I would say probably the best left wing forward in the league. Again, it pains me to say this, but I have to be real. Yeah, for 2 to 3 seasons. Now, if you're a player that's coming in to settle, I keep it real, George. I keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of these salty Arsenal fans here. I keep it moving. Yeah, respect where it's due. I've got the highest respect for Son. Yeah, But if you're coming in as an attacking player and you're trying to settle, then surely having better players, to settle in with is going to help you do that. More experienced players, might I add, and having a world-class manager who can help you acclimatize to that. For me, I'm sorry, like I think that's easier to settle into. Jesus is coming into a relatively inexperienced front line relative to yours, and an inexperienced manager is trying to bed him in. Yes, he's worked with Jesus before, but I personally believe that these merits that I've just put out outweigh the fact that he's worked with Arteta before. I feel that if you are coming in and you are trying to settle when you've got Saka, Nketiah, Odegaard, ESR, Martinelli, and you're trying to settle amongst these guys who are trying to establish themselves as it is, relative to coming in to two established players that are world-class and a world-class manager settling you in as well, I don't see how you could say that it's going to be easier for Jesus to settle than Richarlison. That's just my honest thoughts.
What do you have to say about that, bro?
I mean, it's a fair point. You did make a very good point. We do have quite a lot of very good factors that will help Richarlison suit our team and settle in. But I still just think that Gabriel's, because he's going there to be a starter. He knows that the team's going to have to work around him because he's the striker. He's the focal point of the team. So
comes with a lot of pressure.
You're right. I think Richarlison's going to have less pressure on him, but that's the point. Like, I think Arsenal going to build around him and build around his focus point going forward as that attack is. So I think it's going to be easier for him to sort of find his foot because it's built around him already. But you did make some great points. I can't lie. What are you saying, Gal?
People in the comment section, let me know what you guys think so far. People, let me know what's going on in the poll. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. The poll is obviously it is an Arsenal channel, so you're gonna have a lot more Gabriel Jesus votes. That's just what's gonna come with it. But right now, it is 72% saying Gabriel Jesus, 28% saying Richarlison. You would have thought maybe if the debate was going a little bit more, it would be more close. Right now, for me, I think Gabriel Jesus is a better player. I think Gabriel Jesus is going to be the better signing because of the fact that he's playing week in, week out. I do think Tottenham might finish above us though with Richarlison, even though. So if you're going to judge it based on where they finish in the league, then you're gonna pick Richarlison. But if you're going to base it on production as a player, I think you're going to go with Gabriel Jesus. So now, how do we differentiate the production to league position? Because we can all acknowledge that Arsenal finished higher than Manchester United, but we had no attacker that played on the same level as Ronaldo. Chelsea had finished above Manchester United, but we can all acknowledge that no attacker played better than Ronaldo on that Chelsea team. So if you were to say production versus league position, what would you say then? Because I don't think Richarlison in that Tottenham side will get nearly as much production as Gabriel Jesus next season. So say Richarlison gets 7 league goals and like 8 assists, right? Or some mad stats. Like he gets 10 and 10. And Jesus is on like 15 and 8. Something mad like that. There's no way you're telling me the player who's produced less, yes, he might be in a worse team, is the worst player.
Personally, I just want to say this is what I don't like about football. Yeah, like when you speak to a Chelsea player and a Chelsea fan, and you're trying to make comparisons between our youngsters and theirs, they'll say, but the Champions League and but this and but that. But you've got to look at the impact. Yeah, like you can't just look at the stats and the numbers. You've got to look at what those goals meant. You know, like for me, as I said, Son dragged Spurs to top 4. Yeah, towards the back end of the season. Mane had no place being in that PFA team over Son because of it. Mane's impact, yes, was big and it was dramatic, but it was not like it was spread throughout Liverpool's team. Yeah, like how they actually got second and nearly won the title. Whereas Son's goals, particularly in the back end, the North London derby, you look at his impact in the big games, you know, against Villa, you know, when they were down the second half, he's come out and he's won that game for them. Like, this is what I look at. I look at impact, you know, of of individual performances and a collection and a culmination of those performances and what that impact meant to that team. So as you said, yes, Chelsea finished above United. We finished above United. But Ronaldo's impact as an individual player was bigger than any attacking player that we've got at either of our clubs. Because where would United be without those goals? Relegation? Literally. They would be battling relegation without his goals. So how can I say that Saka's had more of an impact than Ronaldo?
Okay. Let me just. I'm so confused, Gunnar King. Like your point, I understood where you were at the beginning, but now I'm a little confused. Could you just clarify it in like a couple sentences?
So yeah, like what I'm saying is, if we look at the measure of the goals, yeah, and what they meant for that team, because if you take away Ronaldo's goals, like we had goals throughout our team. Other people were scoring, yeah. Whereas if you look at United, no one else was scoring goals.
Okay,
Do you know what I mean?
So you're saying
no one else was.
The value of the player, depending on if you take them away from that team. Realistically, Gabriel Jesus will be more valuable to our team. Richarlison will be more of a rotation piece. Am I wrong?
I mean, I think it remains to be seen. I think Richarlison is going to play a lot more games for Tottenham than these guys recognise.
George, do you get that point? The point is basically,
yeah, no.
He's going to be more valuable, so hence he's going to be the better signing.
If you think that, yeah, you can make the prediction. Again, I'm always going to think that Richarlison is going to be the better signing, just because. Wait, no, sorry. So I think Richarlison's the better player, but yes, he's Jesus is the better signing because he's more valuable and he's going to go into your first team and he's more needed. He ticks a lot more boxes than Richarlison does for us. But Richarlison's a better player in my eyes. That's
okay.
It.
So at the end of the day, it's horses for courses. You're always gonna say Richarlison. He's always gonna say Jesus, and the only way we're gonna know is if the opinions change on our player during the season. That's it.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. So what else is happening at Tottenham? So we can now end this debate and move on. What else is going on at Tottenham? Because since we last spoke to you, you've now made what, 2 more signings?
Well, Clément Lenglet is remained to be announced yet, but it's pretty much 99% done. That's going to be a loan deal with an option to buy. Apparently, Antonio Conte pushed for him a lot. He's a if people don't know, left-footed centre-back, so he can play in the position that we need to replace Ben Davies, as well as playing in the centre-back position. But he hasn't really played too much in the back three. I know he did it in Sevilla, but when he came to Barcelona, he's had a bad couple seasons. So not a big fan of the signing, but I can understand how he's going to improve us. And as a loan, it's a risk-free deal. Apart from him, Djed Spence, the right wing back, the talented Englishman. I think people must know about him. Quite a lot of clubs wanted him.
What's going on with John McGinn?
Nothing that I've heard at the moment. McGinn, we was linked to him early in the window, but considering we've signed Bissouma, I don't see us going into it for another centre mid unless they're a creative midfielder, sort of more 10/ like a forward, a player that can play like a Fabio Vieira type player, someone that can fit a lot of spaces but he's a very creative player. So I think unless we make a signing like him, we won't sign no one else in midfield, and we'll probably focus on getting another centre back will be a big signing, and then probably maybe another opportunistic forward. But our business will be wrapped up very soon, maybe 3-4 more players maximum.
Okay. What about you, Gunnar King? What do you think about Tottenham's transfer window so far? Because this is kind of like a rival show. We always talk about Arsenal. I thought we might as well bring a rival on and discuss some other transfers. What do you think about Tottenham?
It's been good. No hate. I think they've done some good business. I think they brought Perisic in, who's got experience of winning. A lot's been made about his age. I'm not one of these guys. Like, if you're a team that, with the greatest respect, is not used to winning trophies, you need winners. You need people that have that experience, to come into the squad. So Perisic is great to bring in. Foster as a backup. He's got experience in Europe with Celtic. I think Bissouma and Richarlison, for me, are their 2 most impressive signings. I think Bissouma He brings grit, determination, but also, you know, people sleep on his like flair ability. You know, like he's press resistant. He can carry the ball, pass a couple of people. He can pass as well. And obviously Richarlison, much needed second striker. You know, someone that can come in, play across the line, allow Son and Kane to get rest. But I personally think that he is genuinely going to start a lot of games as a second striker behind Kane, so Kane can play further up. So impressed with their business, but it's their business.
Okay, I'm just gonna address this, guys. 2 hours ago, there was a report of something that took place in North London. It was a Premier League footballer. We don't know who it is, so we're not going to be here making speculations and speaking about something we don't have any information about. So please, for the respect of the show, please stop mentioning it. We don't know who it is. We don't know what the player's name is. We don't know anything. All we know is it's a Premier League player, and this incident took place in North London. It doesn't even have. It could not. It could be a player from any other team. It doesn't have to necessarily be a player from Arsenal or Tottenham, because players could also be in North London at the same time. So let's not just assume. Let's not rub players' names in the mud, because these things can damage people's reputations, and they're innocent here if they haven't done anything. You know what I mean? So let's wait for more information before we start piling on top of somebody.
100%. These bad things stick to people's names, man. Make sure you don't be throwing out no names.
Yeah, I'll be clear. If there is guilt and it's an Arsenal player, he's dead to me. So I ain't going to defend no one.
At the end of the day, we don't know.
I don't want to comment on it because, as you say, we don't know anything at the moment.
Yeah, there's no evidence that it's anybody that we're accusing in the chat. So please stop accusing players of misgivings. That's not good. Hisham's in the house saying, George, George, hold that, George. Jesus is gonna win, of course. It's the Arsenal channel. It's always we win polls. I want to ask you, George, what do you think about Arsenal's transfer window?
So, wait, just round it up for me just to make sure I've got it right. So it's Fabio Vieira, Jesus, Marquinhos, and
Matt
Turner. All right.
Into a lot more, obviously.
I mean, of course, the two backup signings, I think they're just going in to be part of the squad, probably third team players. So I guess there's not too much to judge on that. And they were both tapped up prior to the window. So they're just random business. The other two, Jesus and Vieira, I mean, they're good deals. You got them for pretty cheap. Jesus, again, as I said, it's a good signing as it fills it fills a role that you guys need to fill, and it was a much required striker position that you wanted. But I do think, considering all the players you were linked to prior to this summer window, I personally thought you were going to go in for two strikers, get Jesus and bring someone else in. That's a lot better than him and someone with a lot more potential to grow and be a better striker. I thought Arsenal were going to go out and do that, a bigger signing. So I wouldn't say it's a disappointment, but I expected more with the Gabriel Jesus signing. But it remains to be seen. You still might go out there and do that. Vieira, can't say I've watched him too much. Probably seen a Champions League game of him, and that's about it. He looks like a good player from the compilations. Let's see. I don't think he's going to come in and start. He's going to be a squad player, and a player like him is perfect to have in a squad. So can't complain about that. I know you're linked to Tielemans. Lissandro looks like it's been swiped. So you're going to have to be looking at another centre-back / left-back, someone that can fill that or replace Tavares if he's going. So, yeah, I think it's looking... Your business is okay right now. It's good. You can't complain.
I think we went in hard for Rafinha as well, and had we got him, then you would have been talking about another signing as well. So you can see the intent there in what we're doing. And also with Jesus, the added impact with Jesus, Saka after the international break and Martinelli after the international break, they looked dead on their feet. So the guy can come in and cover on both flanks. So I think you have to look at the added impact that he will have on our ability to rotate in our wide areas, which should have Saka and Martinelli playing at their optimum a lot more from not being made to overdo it with the game time.
Okay, let me just make it clear. We're gonna move into the next portion of the show. You guys can ask whatever questions you want in the chat. what kind of question is this in the title? Gabriel Jesus is clear, says the Man City fan. Of course, bro, I agree. It's just George has come on, so we had to debate something. Spurs signed 5 players, finishing top 4. I'm so confused. What is he saying? What about Spurs' other top
5 signings? We spoke about all 5 signings. Maybe he's talking about Basuma or so on, but we've had a few shows. We spoke about Basuma, mate.
Yeah, we spoke about him in depth. I'll just tell you, Basuma, he's over the moon about Basuma. He's going to start in their team. He threw it in our face a million times that he got them. He already spoke about Perisic. Perisic is a quality player, and we've already spoken about him on today's. Yeah, but let me ask you guys a question. These links, bro, how do we believe any of these links? For example, today, Milinkovic-Savic has been linked to Arsenal for the 15th time. Do you believe it for a second?
No. There's no way that, like, let's be clear. This guy is one of the best midfielders of world football. If you watch Serie A, you would know this guy is levels. There's no way he's going to a team that doesn't play Champions League. And that's no disrespect. If you play Champions League,
remind me, Lazio playing Champions League.
Wait.
Lazio in the Champions League.
This is what you need to get clear. He has loyalty to Lazio. There's something more than that. He's just not going to leave them to go and play Europa League football. I promise you now, it's just not going to happen. And if you guys manage to agree a deal with him, it will be the exact same thing that happened with Rafinha. Loads of other teams.
So you know what the interesting thing is? It's almost like Jesus and Vieira didn't leave the champions of England and Portugal, respectively, and forego Champions League football to join us to play on Thursday nights. But you're saying that a guy that plays for Lazio, who aren't in the Champions League, we have no chance of going to them and bringing a player to play Europa League with us.
Gunnar King, I referenced very, very quickly that he's one of the best players in his position in world football. That's why I say that. And if you guys put a bid in for him, many other teams are coming in and matching that bid, just as we saw with Rafinha and as we're seeing right now with Lisandro Martinez. Arsenal's very great at agreeing deals. They're not great at getting it done.
Ooh, that was a bomb dropped. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I don't think we're great at either part. so
we'll see about that, man.
No, it's not about getting the deals done or agreeing it, bro. How many times have we started deals but we just walk away from them because it's not feasible? There are times you've done it yourself. You've walked away from the Tielemans deal because you know you don't want him, or maybe you don't see it possibly happening.
Yeah, I mean, Rafinha and Lisandro Martinez, you never walked away from. You made last-minute bids, and you still are actively trying to pursue those deals. Rafinha, yeah, you've dropped off now, but you did make last-minute bids, so it's not like you dropped out because the money was just too much. You just couldn't agree a deal, and it wasn't happening. So other deals, I agree. But
the same could be said about Jesus when you walked away from it, when you knew there was no chance of getting him because he wanted to come to us, but that's none of my business.
We've had many conversations about that, and as to why he wanted to go Arsenal, so I don't have a problem with that.
But you did walk away from the deal, right? When you thought that there was no chance of getting him, right?
I think
there you go.
There's no shame in losing. There's no shame in losing a player to Barcelona if it's the player's dream move. We spoke about this yesterday on the show. If you guys had a choice to play for your dream club or secure the bag, which one are you doing?
I mean, again, remember when we was on the terrace and I told you that we're all third option. You were like Tottenham's last, and I was like, bro, it doesn't matter. Barcelona's first, and everyone else is behind Barcelona. And then look what happened. He waited for Barcelona, so I didn't really. It doesn't bother me. Like, I get what you mean. If no one's gonna choose Arsenal, Man United over Barcelona, like, it's just stupid. Tottenham as well.
He would have chosen us over you in spite of us having no Champions League football.
That didn't happen though, so it didn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No.
It didn't happen, so he's right. It doesn't matter. But you know what? The thing is, the way he spins it, I like it. You know what? Big up to you, bro. One more thing. Tottenham Stadium revenue. Is that something we should be worried about? Because I seen the Guns N' Roses concert, and I'm like, yo, if you guys are doing concerts like this, you're doing AJ fights. This is another.
Wait, did you not see the 2022 CIES financial top 10 clubs in the world? You guys aren't there. We're above you now. As Gunnar King put in his video, you're not richer than us no more, bro. I think I don't think you actually realize, like, financially, Tottenham is up there. And this is why I always tell people, we are the big boys. We're up there on the big table money wise. We can put our money on the table. We're
Can you
here.
put your trophies on the table?
Maybe right now we can't,
And
but the
then talk
money
about
there,
stature.
and we're gonna king. As I said, the money right now is what's gonna help us bridge that gap. We need the money, and for a long time, Arsenal made a lot more money than us. There was a big difference revenue-wise. Now that we've overtaken you, and we have for the last couple of years, you're not the big brother no more, bro. You're our nephew. We're tapping on you guys. 6 years, we're just tapping on you. I'm rubbing that head of yours, bro.
Let me get this straight. Yeah, I'm aware of your phone. I checked that report. I was moving out my flat in Tottenham Hale the other day. I saw loads of people going to the Guns N' Roses concert. You're making about 10 million from the Dell concert in August. You topped the match day revenue of any individual game, 4.2 million for the North London Derby at home last season. But you're talking about we're not the bigger brother anymore. What I'll say to all of that, nice trophy. Yeah. Until you can put your trophies up, yeah, right? Until you, yeah, can put your trophies up, don't ever talk to us, yeah, about being your smaller, inferior brother again. Yeah. We are clear of your club. Yeah. We are absolutely clear of your club. Yeah. You have no league titles in the Premier League era. Let me just remind you that in our decade of absolute banter, yeah, we won 4 FA Cups. You haven't even won that many cups in the whole Premier League era. So please, relax. You're making more money, yeah? But money, isn't trophies, yeah? Money ain't trophies, yeah? Like, yeah, you can go out and buy players and they might help you win trophies. But until you win them, do not talk to us, yeah, about being your little nephews, yeah? We're clear.
Okay, I think Tottenham Stadium is an amazing revenue stream. Their stadium is beautiful, but the thing is that if you don't win anything, you're going to leave this whole golden generation of Tottenham with a stadium, but no silverware. You need to start winning stuff. That is all I'm going to say. I get the banter. Oh, you never win stuff. You have to.
I'm not even trying to banter. You have to. I'm sorry. Like in this day and age, if you are making more money than us, yeah. If you've got world-class players, you've got a world-class manager that we don't have, you've got experience in your squad that we don't have, yeah? The reality is this, your golden era, yeah, I'm 38 years old. The last decade is the best I've ever seen Spurs, and it's the worst I've ever seen Arsenal. And at our worst, we have still added to our history, whilst at your best, you have failed to do that. So please, win something, and then talk to us, yeah? And then talk to us about overtaking us. Till you listen, Fergie didn't come and do an interview and say, you know, he got asked when he took over United, what have you come to do? I've come to knock Liverpool off their effing perch. Did he do that by finishing above Liverpool 6 seasons in a row whilst they won more trophies than United? No. He paraded league titles in their face. Yeah, he won European silverware. He won everything. Yeah. That's how you enact a power shift, not by making more money than us. Let's not get that twisted. Yeah, you got to win something, and I want to know, George, are you going to win something next season?
I've said many times, and I can only say it again. I expect a trophy next season, and I expect us to compete on many different levels. We're in quite a few competitions, some competitions you guys can't talk about. And yeah, I'm just gonna be having my fun on Tuesdays nights.
For how long?
You know what?
I don't think you'll be having fun on those Tuesday nights, yeah, after the first round, buddy. Not if the Conference League last season was anything to go by.
You know what? Let's just not do this, because at the end of the day, even if we were in the Champions League, we wouldn't be expected to win it. But to be nice to Jay, bro, what trophy are you going for? Because domestic trophies, or are you trying to go for the big two? Because I don't.
Nah, it will definitely be a domestic trophy. We'll be going to just at the end of the day, in the position that we are, and we as Gunnar King well on his run about not winning a trophy, we are in a position where we haven't won a trophy. So you can't just go and skip not winning a trophy and win a league. We got to go win a smaller trophy first, like a League Cup or an FA Cup, just to build up some confidence, and then move on from that and use that to win a bigger trophy. And next season, that'll be our aim, is just to dap up one of those smaller trophies, gain some confidence, and build upon that and going into the season after.
Can I just ask you, like, for me, for example, I feel we need to go at the Europa League. And I feel that because we have credit in the bank with domestic trophies, I believe we should, and I believe Arteta will sacrifice playing his best team in the domestic cups, i.e., he will use his under 23s, he'll use his fringe players in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup until the latter stages. And that will mean our first team 11 is rested solely for the Premier League and the Europa Cup, the Europa League. Now, obviously, with you guys, say, because you don't have that luxury with any trophy of any kind or a domestic trophy, and with you probably, I feel that this is what has let you down in the last few years, because you're trying to go at. I mean, Jose was playing Harry Kane in big games, like in the FA Cup against Division 1 and Division 2 teams, because you are trying to get rid of that Houdini. And do you not feel that will cost you in the run-in in the league games when it really matters, because your squad would have been spread more thinly across 4 competitions than ours? Because that's what I believe will happen.
Next season, no. That's why we're signing players like Richarlison, so we have the depth. So when we go into these games, we have 2 game weeks. Richarlison could just go and strike, or go on the left wing, or go on the right wing and replace Son or Kane. And as I said, the level of the team won't be dropping too much. And we're looking to make signings similar to him and similar to of his level. So when they do come into our team, that we have many options. And right now, depth-wise, with the amount of signings we have at the moment, with the players we've signed, we've added to our depth quite a lot. And our team's looking good. We look like we're going to be able to compete on 4 fronts next season. And I say that confidently, and I've never been able to say that about Tottenham's depth in 3 to 4 years, maybe even 5 years. So, our team's looking deeper than it has been for a long while.
So this is the Forbes thing that you sent me. So Real Madrid first. Let me just
scroll down. You're right behind us, bro. You won't miss it.
He's right. He's right. He's right.
Do you know what it is? Because Arsenal, over the past year, that your value and your income has dropped heavily.
Because we weren't in Europe. We weren't in Europe. You're right. Okay, so Joseph Lewis and Daniel Levy are the 2 owners, and they made what? Operating income 127 million in that year. Value of the club is 2.35 billion. So you're saying the value of the club is even less? That doesn't make sense to me.
Of course it does. That's Forbes, bro. You can't try to say like Forbes. Forbes is the official.
He's
bro.
right, man. He's right.
You can't argue with Forbes. Like,
wait. You're saying Arsenal only made 53 million?
No.
Operating income isn't turnover. It's not like revenue. So I need to get my dad here. He's an accountant. He's downstairs. Yeah, but like, it's not like. I would be interested to look at the turnover figures, but yeah, he is right. They've overtaken us. Like, essentially, what you've got is
like the profit after your daily running costs. After like your natural running costs of the club. Of course, with football, there's so much like running costs. But Tottenham's yearly revenue, is so big compared to all these other clubs because it's our first year in our stadium. So
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Everton. You're telling me Everton could have got relegated last year, and they're like the 16th most highest valued club in the world. That's mad.
Everton, a massive club, man.
No, I mean like in comparison to the rest of world football, like that's mad.
It's the value of the owners.
Man City's only 6th. Look at that. Man City's 7.25 billion.
That's just the club, though. I mean, the owners themselves are richer than everyone else, but that's the club, innit?
Newcastle's going to be on this list soon, man.
But, for sure.
But you know what makes up a big part of this value of your club? It's also the value of how good your players are, right? And how much they're worth. It does make sense. It does. Not really. It does have a factor. It does have a factor because if your squad is worth more than Arsenal's squad, if, for example, if you were to sell every single player on Arsenal squad and you were to sell every single player on Tottenham squad, I'm telling you for a fact, Tottenham squad will return more money.
It won't. Do you know why it won't?
The bigger factors are your TV revenue, your prize money, your match day and gates receipts revenue. Like these are the bigger things that affect your share index value. And at the moment, unfortunately, their stadium has turned around a lot financially in North London at the moment.
what are you gonna do, man? I'm not. You know what? I'm not gonna be like in panic stations. Because I don't think they're going to be able to continue to back Conte, and if they are not able to continue to back Conte, he's gonna go to everything's going to shit. If they continue to back Conte, and then he's here for the long run for like 4 or 5 years, they're definitely gonna win something. It's just I don't know at what level they're going to win. If they ever win the league, that's when like people are gonna lose their shit. Because if they ever win the league or the
I don't even
Champions League,
want to talk about that, man. If I talk about that, I don't know what I would do. You guys would hate me, but let me
No,
not
I
even
wouldn't.
talk about that, man. You guys would hate me if we won the league.
I mean, in my 38-year lifetime alone, I've seen us win 5 league titles, one in your club, one in Old Trafford, and one at Anfield. So if you won one to make it a total of 3 in your 140-year history, do you really think I'm going to care, my guy?
Considering it's
Fucking
nearly
brethren.
considering you was probably a kid the last time you won it, I think you will care, Gunner King. I think you will.
5. I've doubled your history in my lifetime.
Say no more.
One was invincible. That was the last one.
all right, guys,
In your stadium.
we're gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna wrap it up here.
Allow it.
In the
I'm not
nicest
going to care about it. I promise.
Gunner King, I'm gonna see you tomorrow at 4 on the stream, and then definitely link up afterwards. Wifey's not around, so we'll link up. We'll go watch some stuff on. You already know what it is, bro. But yo, what do you call it, George? I'm gonna tell you this: if Tottenham drop off this upcoming season, Tottenham fans have been saying a lot of stuff, and it's not out of the realm for you to have issues throughout the season. So at the end of the season, if you finish the same position, 4th, and there's no massive improvement after all these signings, that is a possibility.
Yeah.
And it is a far possibility. It is an unrealistic possibility, but we'll have to wait and see where everyone else lies at the end of the season. What are you saying?
I say if Arsenal manage to somehow, some way, pray to the gods and they make it come true, you somehow finish in the top 4, then you guys can start to talk to me and start talking about where my team finishes. But for now, a team that's finished above you for 6 years in a row and a team that will continue to finish above you, I am not worried about you guys next season at all.
Can I just make one closing statement to that?
I'm good. Yeah, go ahead.
Unless you win something next season, don't tell us, what we can say to you. Bro, listen, Man United fans, when we missed out on top 4, they come at us. It's annoying. I come back at them, because we finished 11 points ahead of them. Liverpool, City fans, Chelsea fans, they all got credit in the bank. But this is the thing about Spurs fans, you don't have that juice, and until you win something, you can finish above us again,
That is
you can win a top 4 race again. Let me tell you something. Until you win something, you can't talk to any Arsenal fan. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't talk. I'm sorry, bro. Like, look, I'm not even. Ask a United fan, ask a Liverpool fan, ask a City fan, ask a Chelsea, ask any other Big 6 club fan. If you think that this is just a North London beef thing, and they will all say the same thing. Win something.
1 second.
Then talk to us.
1 second. Lenglet just got announced on the verge of signing. Lenglet, Fabrizio Romano, 50 seconds ago.
Yeah, I would have thought so. Pending. He is pending.
Yeah, no, that's happening. Anyways, big up everybody. You guys already know what it is. The Kitty G on EGTV. We're back again tomorrow. Hit that like button on the way out if you already haven't hit it on the way in. I don't know what's going on today. Yesterday we had like 400, 500 people on the stream. Today we can barely get over 100. It's mad in the junior. But we'll catch you guys on the next time. Big up for everyone who supported the channel. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out, guys. You already know.
Peace out, man. Thank you, guys.